I guess I should have called that a BB bot production. Welcome to Spitting Truth with Titus, everyone. Hope you're in for a wonderful show, because that's what I'm bringing to you, mateys. Let's get right into it, because there is a lot of news to cover. We have the Bankster world order out there. The same world order where they would rather destroy the entire planet than face justice for the crimes they have committed. And with that being said, we're starting off with information about Jeffrey Epstein and Pizzagate and all of those types of things. So let's get right into it. But first, before we get into the evil, the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. As it says, the language of Jesus, so beautiful. Beautiful rendition of that song. And now that we've seen the good in the world, let's get into the evil in the world. Because our world, much like a beautiful symphony, has beautiful moments, and it also has the dark, chaotic chords. When you look at it over the grand spectrum of time, our world is something rather beautiful, but with every beautiful song, there is chaos within it and evil to make it the perfect symphony. So as we go down here, we're getting into Pizzagate and Epstein news. 1 week ago, Rothschild, just a quick recap of things that have happened since the last show we've done. 1 week ago, Rothschild Bank raided in Paris. Since then, Apollo lost $12 billion. 12 women sued the FBI. Cadaver dogs were deployed at Zorro Ranch. Documents are the prosecution the DOJ refused to bring. So you can see here, Rothschild Bank and Epstein. Rothschild Bank searched in Paris on Friday as part of the Epstein investigation. The raid occurred at Edmond de Rothschild's headquarters, with CEO Ariana de Rothschild present. So as we've been saying this entire time, all of these agencies and Epstein, who works for the agencies, They are all part of the Bankster world order. The Banksters are the ones responsible for all this. And without having these private central banks, you would not have people like Jeffrey Epstein or these intel agencies that have been allowed to run amok, right? And here in the Epstein Files, raped and strangled to death. 2 children were strangled and raped to death. This is why I will never stop, and I second that opinion from the patriotic blonde. Here you have confidential Jeffrey Epstein. Edward, this is sensitive, so it will be the first and last email depending on your discretion. You can choose to take it or trash it, but this comes from the person that has been there and seen it all. As a former staff at the Zorro, the material below was taken from Jeffrey Epstein's home as my insurance in case of future litigation against Epstein. Sorry, no questions. What is damning about Jeffrey Epstein is yet to be written. Do you know somewhere in the hills outside Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey Epstein and Madame Ghislaine. Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex. So there you go. Some of the worst things we possibly thought. And this guy, Joe Kent, the same person who we covered in the last show because he resigned over not wanting to be a part of this fake war with Iran that is on behalf of Israel and has nothing to do with the best interests of the United States, but it has to do with the best interests of the bankster elite and of the people that run Israel, not of the people who live in Israel, because I have contacts in Israel who have been telling me that things aren't going exactly very well for the average Israeli citizen. They have bombs, rockets exploding all around them. But the elite that control Israel, this satanic elite that pretends to be Jews, they're the ones who are benefiting from this, while the people that they're in control of, much like the people in the rest of the world, continue to suffer. Joe Kent says he believes Epstein may have been an intelligence asset, while admitting he has no insider knowledge. He adds the files were under DOJ control and says, we should continue to question everything.
Do you deny leaking to Tucker the Mark Levin meeting?
Yeah, I deny that.
And the second one is, I think, no one said this explicitly, but there's online speculation related to Charlie Kirk, because there was a Turning Point employee named Andrew Colvett, who we know well, he was on the program last week, who's the executive producer of Charlie's show, and now he's co-hosting Charlie's show in the wake of his assassination. And he provided to government employees, is all he's ever revealed. He never said the FBI, he never said you, he never said anybody specifically. That group chat that Charlie was in, that 48 hours before he was killed, in which Charlie said he was done with the donors who were pressuring him. Let me pull it up so I don't misstate it. Charlie said, stand by. Oh boy. Anyway, I don't have it in front of me, but he basically said he was done with the pressure that the Jewish donors were putting on him. He had lost another $2 million donation from a Jewish donor. He might have to invite Candace Owens, just as sort of a middle finger to these people to let them know that they couldn't pressure him, and that he wasn't going to cancel Tucker Carlson. So this is 48 hours before he was killed. This group chat, which was in I think a WhatsApp group, involved Charlie and Josh Hammer and some others, and that was provided by Andrew Colvett to someone in government, and some online are speculating that, well, we know it was leaked to Candace Owens, and she reported on it, and some are speculating that you were the leaker. So did you leak that document to Candace?
No.
Did you leak it all to the media?
No.
And have you watched as other government employees have leaked multiple documents and information with absolutely no threat of prosecution?
I have the same access to the media that you do, so I see it happening. I don't know specifics of anyone specifically leaking themselves, but yeah, the leaks are in the paper every single day. And I think there's a big distinction between leaking actual top secret information and then leaking almost palace intrigue of who's meeting with who. But yeah, no. So I'm not aware of any specific leakers, but again, I see it all the time.
So there you go. And Megyn Kelly, I don't necessarily trust. She was the person that interviewed James Alefantis and tried to help Alefantis whitewash that entire situation from back in the day. And the interesting part of all of that was she was interviewing Alefantis about bad things we found him doing on places like Instagram, tying young children down to ping pong tables. Megyn Kelly never interviewed the parents of those children that were in all those Instagram posts. They were also seen at My Pizza Brains or whatever it was, the place out in Philadelphia run by different people than Alefantis. How come the parents of those children victims never came out and were like, oh yeah, it was okay for Alefantis to tape our child down to a ping pong table on Instagram and post that? Weird, right? You would think she would reach out to the parents of that and find out this, but no. So I don't necessarily trust Megyn Kelly for obvious reasons. However, another thing that I've been saying forever was confirmed again, which is Jeffrey Epstein was allowed to conduct his business with the help of the big banks. JP Morgan Chase. We just saw Rothschild Bank just got raided. And here, Goldman Sachs' top lawyer finally resigned over her links to Jeffrey Epstein. Her exit bonus for quitting her job in light of everything that's going on, $25 million. The average person watching this stream who cares about this stuff is never going to make $25 million in their lifetime. This lady was just given that for quitting her job because of her ties to Epstein. Just keep that in mind. Goldman Sachs is a very specific way of saying sorry, Bloomberg. So you can see here that the banks are completely complicit in what Jeffrey Epstein was up to. He was handling money for a lot of these people. He couldn't have run his trafficking ring without the help of the banks laundering his money for him. Deutsche Bank, in one example, in the past we've covered this. Deutsche Bank was hit with fines because they allowed him to continue transferring money around to continue his trafficking operation, even after they knew it was no good and all types of red flags were seen by employees. But no, the banks, no one is going to jail. Nobody but Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell have seen any justice for what happened. Obviously, the elite killed off Jeffrey Epstein, or whatever happened to him. That's probably what happened. They Robert Maxwelled him for, everything that went on. And Epstein handled money for a lot of these clowns. These aren't the only ones. But you can see here, Epstein's account managed money for 5 clients. Leslie Wexner, the guy who gave Jeffrey Epstein his mansion in New York City. Leon Black, Ariana de Rothschild, Steven Sinofsky, Glenn Dubin. All 5 were billionaires. Not one of them have been brought up on charges. How do you not go after the people that financed Jeffrey Epstein? Blatantly financed them. He couldn't have done what he did without these people, like Leslie Wexner. Is it because Leslie Wexner has all types of ties to, the criminal mafia and Israeli intelligence?
The committee noticed the deposition for Mr. Wexner on February 9th, 2026. I will enter the notice for this deposition as Exhibit 2.
Look at him. And I knocked on this bro's house. Went right up to his house, knocked on his door, tried to get him to answer, talked to his butler. When has mainstream media or anyone else in alt media tried to get any of these people to be held accountable? The Democrats have been, in the last couple of years, throwing protests on people's doorsteps that they don't like and all this kind of stuff. Where is the public outcry and the protests on the doors of Leslie Wexner or Bill Gates or Glenn Dubin or Ariana de Rothschild or Leon Black? You know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't these people out there going after these people? They shouldn't be able to sleep at night without hearing protests outside their house demanding their arrest. These people raped countless children and financed Jeffrey Epstein to allow other billionaires to rape countless children, yet no one is willing to hold these people accountable. And these people are the ones behind the government that are now dragging us all people across the world, into a World War III that nobody wants.
There are copies of the exhibits for us.
Look at him. Looking all squirrely. I don't care how old this dude is. Thankfully, justice belongs to God, and this guy is going to be thrown into the fiery pits of hell, I'm sure, for his actions. You know, he had the audacity to come out and be like, oh, I hired Jeffrey Epstein because he told me
Can the
people were
witness please
stealing
state his
forks.
name and spell his last name for the record?
Leslie, Leshwexner. Wexner.
Thank you. My name is... Under the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform's rules, you are allowed to have a counsel present to advise you during this deposition. Do you have a counsel representing you in a personal capacity present with you today?
Yes.
Yes.
Will counsel...
Yes, he does. Of course he has counsel representing him. Now, it turns out Ghislaine Maxwell's house, the one that she was found in New Hampshire, she was convicted of trafficking children for sex, but to who? Who was she trafficking them to if none of the people she trafficked them to were arrested for any of these crimes? How does that work? How do you get convicted of trafficking children, but none of the clients get arrested for doing what they did with the children? Weird. So Ghislaine bought a property in New Hampshire where she was found hiding in 2020. UBS released the money for purchase on her behalf in 2019, despite a subpoena over Maxwell's money, the DOJ files show. So another bank, UBS, helped Epstein accomplice Maxwell buy this house, even though she was already under subpoena in at large. Remember, we were all like, where is she? She was putting out fake photos of her at the In-N-Out Burger, things like that. Yet UBS, who was aware of all this, allowed her to go ahead and purchase this money and release the money to her to accomplish that. And no one there is getting in trouble for this at all. UBS hasn't even been hit with a fine. The banksters are ruining the planet, and they're the ones completely behind all of this kind of stuff. This is why we can't allow private central banks to control our money, because they use the control of that to build up immense amounts of wealth, and then the rest of us, struggle to survive because they just keep printing the money to their own benefit. I mean, if they're willing to use child sex trafficking to, enable control over politicians, why do you think they would have our best interests when controlling the quantity of money? They wouldn't.
Earlier, colonial scrip had worked because just enough was issued to facilitate trade and counterfeiting was minimal. In other words, the quantity was controlled by the government that issued it. Gold bugs today try to claim that because paper money didn't work during the Revolutionary War, it shouldn't be used today. But keep in mind, it doesn't matter what backs your money. All that matters is who controls its quantity. Will it be your elected officials, or will it be some unelectable banker? Colonial paper money before the Revolution had worked so well that the Bank of England had Parliament outlawed and force America to use only gold money, gold which they controlled.
So there you go. That's what it's all about. Now, Pam Bondi, who is completely just dropped the ball in all of this. I'm not surprised because she's just some dumb blonde. 18 days until Pam Bondi testifies under oath. She has been subpoenaed. She is not committed to appearing. 5 Republicans voted with Democrats to force it. April 14th, Pam Bondi has to go and testify under oath as to everything that has been going on with this Epstein case.
About that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, oh, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
A hearing with Attorney General Pam Bondi that got so heated, one Democratic member left the hearing room.
Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once when he was.
Weak sauce.
And also, I want the record to reflect that, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution contempt.
Anti-Semitic culture. You've got to be kidding me. The more you bring that up in defense of the Jeffrey Epstein ring of clients, the more anti-Semitic people are going to become. Like, stop trying to hide behind that when this is a group of satanic pedophile bankers, okay? They try to invoke the anti-Semitism constantly to try to use it to silence people that are asking questions. It's disgusting.
Condemning.
Oh,
is
Jewish. I just want to be clear.
So you want to go there, Attorney General? Are you serious? Talking about anti-Semitism to a woman who lost her grandfather in the Holocaust?
Bondi challenged by Republican Tom Mass.
She invoked the big H word against you, Pam. Now how are you going to respond? Both sides of the aisle are controlled by the same people.
Over the Department of Justice redactions in the file, including Leslie Wexner, founder of Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, I know. Look at the stonk markets, bro. It's over 50K. What are you worried about?
40 minutes. Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction out of
he's
over
listed as a co-conspirator.
One redaction.
Derangement syndrome.
We've been going through the files. The freaking Kash Patel and Pam Bondi have been running out of black ink. There's so many redactions. I mean, come on.
Pramila Jayapal, asking Epstein survivors in the audience to stand and offering Bondi the opportunity to apologize to them.
Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through?
I'm not going to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
Afterwards, several of those survivors sitting down with NBC's Hallie Jackson.
Show me your hands if you were satisfied with what you heard from the Attorney General today. Nobody. There wasn't even an adult in the room.
Not one person.
That could apologize for the damage done to children and girls.
Saying they just want accountability.
We've heard several times our government say, we're moving on from this, and that just enrages me.
Senator Wyden just released the findings on Leon Black. Epstein made hush money payments to women on Black's behalf. Epstein had women under surveillance on Black's behalf. Black paid Epstein $158 million over 5 years. The Senate Finance Committee official release on this information. So Leon Black gave Epstein $158 million. He had Epstein pay hush money payments to women. This is all in this report. How is he not under investigation or facing prosecution? How do you give someone like Jeffrey Epstein $160 million and you don't get brought up on charges, anything? Nothing has happened to this Leon Black guy other than his name has been run through the mud, but he's not facing any sort of indictments or anything. Kash Patel and Pam Bondi come out and are like, oh, we have no evidence of any other people being involved in this. No one else needs to be prosecuted. We've covered all this. That was their statement. This guy gave him $160 million, and he's going out there doing hush money payments and stuff, putting women on surveillance for the guy, and you don't have any evidence to go after Leon Black? Are you kidding me? Like, okay. Here's some more video that's come out. The Epstein Files are trending again, and clips like this are making the internet ask questions, as they should. Here's Jeffrey Epstein. And obviously, the underage girls have had their faces blacked out. Like, look how young these women are. Not women, young children are. You know? And the prison guard that was watching him got $5,000 payout the day before he was quote-unquote suicided, if that's even what happened. I mean, for all we know, this guy's living in friggin' Tel Aviv with bombs raining down him right now. Do you trust anything the mainstream media says? I certainly don't. You know, I mean, how can we trust anything they tell us when in one thing they tell us, oh, you know, there are no other people involved, yet Leon Black gave him 160 mil. You know, he handled money for all these people here that control the media and all this kind of stuff.
One of the gate guards who also, during the initial investigations, law enforcement and the DOJ never followed up on was Tova Noel, who actually was the gate guard. And even days prior to Jeffrey Epstein's alleged suicide, she actually received $5,000 in cash and deposited it into her bank account. And that was never anything that was followed up regarding questioning. And so Chairman Comer asked her to come in. She refused to comply. And so he'll be having to issue a subpoena. I also had spoken with the chairman, and under protection in my official capacity, actually named 4 women specifically that were given plea deals under the initial, I guess, proceedings in New York, or excuse me, the second proceedings in New York, where they testified against Ghislaine and Jeffrey. But those women, in my opinion, were complicit within the trafficking and should be looked at as potentially charged for human rights violations and civil rights statutes. And so he'll be calling them in to testify. But again, Bill Gates will be also coming in. And I just think that this entire thing, when you look at really the totality of what we have facts on hand, again, Fox News reported on this when we found out about it over a year and a half ago, but under the former...
All right, Fox News reported on this. Fox News is owned by Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch is the one who recently bought the Dancing Hare yacht. That is the yacht that was owned first by Adnan Khashoggi, who was the big arms dealer in the Middle East. And then he sold that boat, which went from, what was the name of it originally? Whatever it went and became Robert Maxwell's boat, which was Ghislaine Maxwell's father. And he named it the Lady Ghislaine, right? And then Robert Maxwell was assassinated on that boat, right? There's a book on this called The Assassination of Robert Maxwell. And then that boat became Jeffrey Epstein's boat. And then that boat became the Dancing Hare. And guess who bought the Dancing Hare? It was Anne Murdoch. And Ghislaine Maxwell was seen on that boat when she was at large from the authorities right before they picked her up in that mansion that we just showed you that UBS helped her buy. Okay? Anne Murdoch is Rupert Murdoch's wife. They were hiding Ghislaine Maxwell on their yacht. They own Fox News. This is what I'm talking about. Even the media that covers this is covering it in a very biased way because they're all connected. Fox News owners are highly connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Are you ever going to watch Fox News and hear what I just broke down about the boat? No, because Fox News is owned by Rupert Murdoch. So if you think you're watching Fox News and you're getting the truth, you're not. You're never going to get the full truth on Fox News about this Epstein stuff. But continue. Anna Paulina Luna.
Former deputy director of the FBI, allegedly there was destruction of evidence, and as you saw, there was never a complete actual investigation done on this. So I think that at best we're still dealing with partial facts here.
Right. We say destruction of evidence. Was that an inside job? Was that a hack? Refresh my memory.
Well, so there was a hack that took place, and that was separate from the alleged destruction of evidence. The alleged destruction of evidence took place under, again, the former deputy director of the FBI, and I do believe that that was an inside job. And I say that because if you look at how this entire case was handled from the beginning, you can see and you can talk to the victims that it did appear that, A, powerful people were given special treatment, but also, two, that as soon as they could, Democrats, knowing that Jeffrey Epstein did have a close connection and proximity to the Clintons.
Notice how she tries to make this all about Democrats. It's not just about Democrats. It's both sides of the aisle there, toots.
etc. It was not in their invested interest at releasing any of this information, which is why they had actually worked against the victims in actually giving them the information. And so, look, this is information that I documented early on. I passed this information to the FBI. And again, you know, you see that there was a massive hack done as well on the New York station where allegedly terabytes or massive amounts of information were deleted. So that's a problem, right?
Yeah, tell me the name of the deputy FBI director again who allegedly oversaw the destruction.
It was the former deputy director of the FBI under President Biden. Offhand, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much, Anna Paulina Luna. Keep us posted.
Thank you so much, Anna Paulina Luna. We appreciate the half-truths. FBI intentionally wiped all camera data of the night Epstein killed himself per the Epstein Files. Right? So just as we suspected, the FBI... You got to remember, Jeffrey Epstein was an FBI informant. Maybe I should bring up that file in a second here. Telephone number interviewed by United States Attorney General, Task Force Detective in Special District in New York, SDNY. Started working for the Bureau of Prisons in 2003 and worked in both New York and Indiana. Had some college education. Was with the United States Marine Corps for 4 years. Had 10 years experience in electronics. In 2016 was put in charge of all the cameras at the MCC. Advised the cameras at MCC were out of date and recorders frequently went bad, and the cameras were all analog and not maintained properly. The camera system was over 20 years old. Sometimes the screen would be active indicating the camera was working, however, the video would not be recording. Advised that only one hard drive of the camera system was working at the time of the incident, August 10, 2019, when a DVR went bad. None of the cameras recorded. There was a system failure of DVR2 on July 29, 2019, and the motherboard failed on DVR on August 8, 2019. The hard drive failure occurred on August 10, 2019. Recall that there was a body alarm around 6 a.m. August 10, 2019, and was one of the MCC personnel who responded. Stated that he was one of the personnel who briefly tried to resuscitate Jeffrey Epstein. After the incident was asked about the cameras, there's no redactions, by the way. You're not looking at any redactions, because they just gave us everything. There's no black on the screen at all. Right? Was asked about the cameras. There were 2 new hard drives to install, but installing the new hard drives would mean that all prior data would be lost. The warden wanted a video, and so was told to start working on the system. Started removing the bad drives in order to rebuild the DVR. Advised that an FBI agent was the one who pulled out the DVR. Also advised that he knew by replacing both hard drives the system would be wiped, and that he advised personnel at MCC of that. Okay? So they knew exactly what they were doing. Alright? Let me just look here. I'm just going to pull up the proof that Epstein was an FBI informant. This is something I had tweeted out. A lot of other people have as well. You can see here on 9/11/08, case agent advised writer that Epstein is currently being prosecuted by the state of Florida and is complying with all conditions of his plea with the state of Florida. Epstein has also provided information to the FBI as agreed upon. Case agent advised that no federal prosecution will occur in this matter as long as Epstein continues to uphold his agreement with the state of Florida. Case agent also advised that no further forfeiture assistance will be required for the case. So as you can see here, he's a FBI informant, and for that, no federal prosecution is going to take place. Jeffrey Epstein was always an FBI informant. This goes all the way back to the 2008 case. And what information did Jeffrey Epstein ever provide that led to any sort of arrest or anything? Nothing. He didn't provide anything. He didn't give them any bit of information that led to anyone getting arrested. Nothing. He was an FBI informant that provided no information that was actionable at all. And for that, him and his friends all received protection from the FBI for all of his crimes. Epstein's Zorro Trust won $80 million New Mexico Powerball 2 days after he accepted his plea deal in 2008. The governor of New Mexico at the time was Bill Richardson. Virginia Giuffre named Richardson as one of the men who abused her. Can you believe this? They won the Powerball? I mean, Zorro Trust belonging to Epstein won a $80 million lottery ticket in New Mexico. Who wants to believe that that wasn't a payoff by Bill Richardson to Epstein? He just happened to win the Powerball in New Mexico? Please. You know, they get the government gets to keep half that money, right? So Bill Richardson got to keep half the money they paid out to Jeffrey. But Jeffrey just so happens to have won an $80 million Powerball in New Mexico. Who do you think, just looking at this, who do you think was responsible for the 2 strangled girls that got buried on the Zorro Ranch, according to the earlier files we just saw? Who wants to think it was Bill Richardson? I mean, it's just $80 million. Something happened in New Mexico. Dan Bongino got pressed super hard recently in public, by the way. This was great. I don't know if any of you saw this yet, but Bongino got pressed hard by someone in public. There he is with his stupid bald head. The guy who thinks that podcasting is more important than running the FBI. Like, he's going to do way more to bring down these evil people by talking on the internet. And all he's done since Go on the Internet is attack people for questioning Erika Kirk, who we're going to get into here in a second, and her ties to the Jeffrey Epstein ring.
You're a pedophile protector. A pedophile protector. Pedophile protector. I was a cop for 9 years. You're a pedophile protector, faggot. You're a pedophile protector. In fact, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. You're a pedophile protector. A pedophile protector. Pedophile protector. I was a cop for 9 years. You're a pedophile protector, faggot.
Dan Bongino goes, you don't do shit. Dan Bongino, you did shit. You did absolutely nothing. All you did was quit. You are a pedophile protector and a fucking scumbag.
Pedophile protector. In fact, fuck you.
Hey, Dan, whatever happened to those Secret Service agents that died in the Caribbean Sea that were, I have video of the location where they perished on some rocks. Well, they were, I don't know. To me, I'm going to post the video soon, but there's a spot in between St. Thomas and Epstein's Island where a bunch of Secret Service agents died. Wasn't Bongino a former Secret Service agent? 5 Nights at Epstein's. I don't know if you guys heard this. This is absolutely hilarious. Like, you ever heard of 5 Nights at Freddy's? If you're a parent, you definitely have heard of this nonsense. Kids are addicted to 5 Nights at Epstein's game. They're playing it on school laptops. This isn't some underground game. It's spreading fast through schools. Students are playing it during class. It's because all the teachers have given up on teaching kids. They just give them laptops now. There isn't some underground game. It's everywhere. Right under the school's nose.
Startling gaming trend with children sparking outrage for some parents in a Utah school district. That game, 5 Nights at Epstein's. Our Jake White spoke with a concerned parent who wants schools now to get involved.
On Wednesday, parents took to social media, asking fellow parents in the Kearns community if they've ever heard of a disturbing video game that her son admitted to playing at school on the laptop that the Granite School District provides. The game?
I think it's disgusting.
5 Nights on Epstein's Island that can be played on several websites for free, inspired by the popular video game 5 Nights at Freddy's. But in this version, you're on Epstein Island with the goal of surviving 5 nights without being killed by not only late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, but other notable figures found in the Epstein Files. Not only that, these photos you see here during the game might look a little familiar. That's because these are actual photos of the inside of Epstein's Virgin Island home on Little St. James, released by the DOJ. Michelle Martinez says her child has played the game and is devastated her child now knows something as horrific as Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
I was upset at the fact that he knew anything about Epstein.
And says her son's school in the Granite School District needs to work on what sites can be accessed on school computers.
Remove computers completely, or spend the money and upgrade their technology to prevent these kids from being able to have access to games on their computers.
Granite School District is not the only school district facing this issue, as the game's popularity has spread to schools across the country, with free VPNs and proxies available on school computers. Blocking access to certain websites on school computers turns into an almost impossible task, leaving parents across the country demanding tighter internet security at their local schools, ensuring their children are never exposed to disturbing games like this one, especially in their local schools. The Granite School District releasing a statement about the game, saying Granite School District is aware of a national trend involving students who are reportedly able to access an inappropriate online game during school hours. In February, Granite received a concern about this game from one parent, and the district was able to block the website at that time. Since then, the district is aware of only one additional concern specific to our schools that was shared on social media in that instance. The district does not believe this game is being widely accessed in our schools. Regardless, we are committed to ensuring appropriate internet use in our schools, and we have a variety of safeguards in place. Reporting with ABC4 News, I'm Jake White.
Yeah, the teachers don't want to have to deal with teaching the kids, so they're like just giving them laptops and letting them do whatever. Anyone surprised by that? Our school system is a joke. The problem is, in our country, like, the dumbest people, and I hate, if anyone's a teacher here, I'm not trying to, like, come at you, but the dumbest people end up becoming teachers. Like, everyone that I went to college with, the dumbest people in the graduating class were the ones that ended up being teachers. It's like the lowest 10% of every graduating class, that's what they do. We need to have a shift in that. It needs to be like the smartest people in society becoming teachers because it's such an important job. But that's not what we have going on in America. So getting into some of the Pizzagate stuff, and here is Katy Perry, okay? And this isn't technically Pizzagate related, but this is Epstein related. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Right in your face. That you can have.
Epstein's 50th birthday. The Journal reporting that the book contains a letter and a drawing from President Trump.
Epstein Files prove that Pizzagate is real.
So if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer? Yes? Harrison? Yes? Yes? All that you want.
It's all coming full circle, isn't it? Dirty Dershowitz. Remember the name Sue Barlock? She had the misfortune of being Alan Dershowitz's first wife. He tried to scrub all information about her. He threatened CNN, then owned by Ted Turner, not to report the strange circumstances about her jumping off the Brooklyn Bridge. And there she is, Alan Dershowitz's first wife. She probably wasn't too excited about his massages while keeping his underwear on at Epstein's Island. I'm taking a wild guess. Erika Kirk and Epstein. Did Erika Kirk and Jeffrey Epstein meet in Paris in 2017? On his show today, Baron Coleman showed screenshots of the Epstein Files. In reviews, Erika wrote under her maiden name indicating they were both in Paris at the same time and frequented the same locations. So not only was Erika involved in some weird stuff in Eastern Europe, at the same time Jeffrey Epstein was recruiting girls from Eastern Europe. You have here, good idea, can you come to the Ritz around 5 p.m. and we'll have tea or some drinks together? I still have questions for you. I just ran him into the Plaza Athene bar. And here you have Phenomenal for tea, Hotel Plaza Athena, right? From Franze Erika. So she was in the same locations, Ritz Paris, same exact locations at the same time as Jeffrey Epstein. And she was involved with some very weird stuff in Romania, right? At the same time, Epstein was recruiting and running that DynCorp tail number helicopter, and DynCorp was all involved with the military and child trafficking and Eastern Europe. And you have this Erika Kirk lady who was involved with all of that kind of stuff at the same time, doing military charities and all this. It's just too coincidental to even begin. You see what I'm saying? And he says here, I think it's clear that Erika Kirk has the Trump administration, feds, and X running cover for her, so that this photo of her, even blurred, etc., is always blocked and censored no matter what. There's the photo of her, but no matter what you do, when you try to post it, it gets blurred and all these kinds of things. But here's Erika Kirk, your Christian role model, grifter. Everyone goes balls deep, just like Erika.
Well, balls deep.
Balls?
Yep.
Yep,
Balls
we're going
deep.
in. We're going in.
Wow. Hello.
Oh my God, I went balls deep. And, you know, what would you do immediately after your husband gets assassinated in public in front of everyone? go on $1 million shopping spree. Oh my God. Or whatever it is, $1,000. Erika Kirk's grief shopping just got weirder. In-store spree in SLC the morning after Charlie Kirk's assassination. This is what she did. Sorry, not $1,000. Yesterday we dropped the $1,000 aloe receipt bombshell. Less than 24 hours after Charlie Kirk announced dead. She's out there on a shopping spree. Like, I know everyone grieves differently, but that's not grieving at all. That's not even attempting to grieve. She's just out there shopping. She had to buy those tight leather pants like immediately. Unbelievable. This dude here covered it. I'm not going to play his video. Oregon High School principal Jeremy Williams. And it's like, this is the people that they put out there that are like, oh, well, if you don't like Erika Kirk and you don't like Charlie Kirk, then you're one of these people. Right. These people are also disgusting creatures. The ones that were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Oregon High School principal, remember what I was just saying about teachers not being... I mean, you want to talk about the Catholic Church having... In the Catholic Church, you know, to me is Babylon, Mystery Babylon as described in the Bible. I'm no fan of the Catholic Church, okay? I think you could find God in Christianity, but not through Catholicism. But whatever. Oregon High School principal Jeremy Williams, who was placed on leave for celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, has just been sentenced to 5 years in prison over possession of child pornography. Imagine that. These people are disgusting creatures, right? And this is who's teaching your kids these days. How many teachers have been nailed for this pedophilia shit in recent memory? A hell of a lot more than Catholic priests have been nailed. I'll tell you that much. There's a huge problem with this in the school system that needs to be dealt with, and no one seems to talk about it. They just keep getting caught over and over and over again, but no one is like doing the, oh, Catholic priest thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I wonder why that is. Oh, maybe because of who controls the media and how much they hate Christianity. TPUSA, these are the people we're supposed to turn to. Yeah, I don't know. Their arcane discipline, maybe. I have no idea. Maybe Charlie Kirk is alive somewhere and they used a rubber dummy for his funeral. Who knows? I have no idea. I used to work for TPUSA. TPUSA faith exists to equip Christians to live out a biblical truth, fight cultural degeneracy, and be salt and light. But at AmFest 2024 after party, hosted by James O'Keefe, the Make America Rave Again blowout, this is what went down. So this is your, Christian conservative people, and this is what they're doing. Wrapping themselves in the American flag, disguising their intentions, calling themselves Christians, and having strippers dance around in whatever that is. I mean, does this seem like conservative Christian, principles to you, or is this just a bunch of right-wing grifters that are complete degenerates that are the ones that are always promoted by the internet that's controlled by a certain ruthless group of cosmopolitans? You see what I'm saying? Like, who do you turn to these days other than God? What people are out there on our side? These are the ones that are supposed to be, when you're like, oh, I don't like the Democrats because they're all involved with Pie Fence. You're supposed to turn to these people who wrap themselves in our flag and are doing this type of crap. Caddy Daddy thinks that he was. I personally think he was. I always go with the most. Like when it comes to this stuff, like, oh, was Jeffrey Epstein killed in prison, or was he, taken out and now living in Tel Aviv? I always go with the answer that seems to make the most sense, which is he had too much information on these people, so they killed him. And with Charlie Kirk was becoming a problem for these people, the people that are at events like this, and they killed him. And they put it on TV as like a ritual sacrifice type thing. You know what I'm saying? And then they made it obvious they killed him and sent a message with it, That's what I think. I don't believe in any of the other theories, but it's what you want to believe is fine. Like no one really has any hard proof either way. So believe what you want to believe. If you saw compelling evidence elsewhere, I'm not going to try to dissuade you from that. Pizzagate is not going away. 10 years ago, an editor called me an hour before my show. This is from Milo at Nero. This is one of these people that was outed in kicked out of these types of things. He's no longer a part of this right-wing grifter, stripper-loving fucking nonsense. Sorry for swearing. But he was basically excommunicadoed from those types of groups, and that's Milo. And ever since then, he's become far more aligned with the truth. 10 years ago, editor called me an hour before my show, cussed me out, and forbade me from giving the speech. Only recently have I begun to realize why. Pizzagate, the deep dish on Democrats and pedophilia. Right? And there's Milo on that. And I responded to this tweet by Milo with the interview I did with Big Fish, which is on YouTube. People have been asking me, hey, Titus, where is that interview? It's on the channel that I'm live on right now. If you click on videos, you will see it in there for anyone to share or watch or whatever. If you're wondering where that interview with Big Fish went, it's on this channel you're watching right now in the video section. Just go and click on it and you'll see it in the list. Yeah, Sean of Source. Charlie Kirk was possibly the biggest example of trauma-based mind control since JFK. It's our generation's, moral question. Do you believe the mainstream media explanation for that? Then you're one of those people that believes JFK was killed by a lone gunman, right? If you believe what happened to Charlie Kirk is what the mainstream media told us, then you probably also believe JFK was shot by a lone gunman and that there was no one else involved in that. It's our generation's JFK, because it's so obvious to anyone with half a brain that that's not what happened. Right? I mean, there would be an exit wound, a huge exit wound on his back of his neck if he was shot with that caliber rifle. It's just, none of it makes sense. They tried to tell us that he had the Man of Steel Superman neck. I mean, it's insane. Obama in code words. Now is a great time to ask Barack Obama how he spent $65,000 in pizza and hot dogs. That's enough to feed all of Kenya, unless it's a code word. And as I reported when we first came across this, the White House does not allow outside food to be brought in. So you can't bring in $65,000 worth of pizza and dogs from Chicago. It's not possible. The White House won't allow it. It's a security risk. So what are they talking about in this email? Chicago Hot Dog Friday? To celebrate all you hot dogs out there? That came from Stratfor, which is one of these private intelligence groups. And here we have the Hollywood rituals, and this is why this stuff isn't going away, because people have seen too much of this kind of thing, and they understand what they're looking at. And this is why I call the elite Satanists. It's because of the symbolism that you commonly see and all these occult practices that they do. Lady Gaga attended a satanic retreat with Marina Abramovich, and there's a lady who should be absolutely investigated hardcore. She's connected to all of this stuff. She's connected to John of God and the Pizzagate people and the Epstein ring. I mean, she's one of these central figures that if you just tie all of it back to her, you're like, wow, she's involved with all of this stuff, and she's doing weird cannibalistic spirit cooking stuff and all that. Like, how has she not been brought up on investigative charges? You know what I'm saying? And people recently have been accusing me of being pro-QAnon. It's like, I've never been pro-QAnon at all. QAnon, as I've said since the very beginning of that nonsense, was a psyop to discredit all of this stuff that we've been pointing out. All of the main Pizzagate researchers, myself, David Seaman, Really Graceful, all the people that called out Pizzagate, we've always been anti-Q because we saw Q as total effing nonsense that came around way later and was basically the control fire, a psychological operation to suck the oxygen out of the fire in the minds of men that we created by pointing out what was going on with this Pizzagate stuff. The intelligence agencies had to come up with some sort of way to get people to stop asking questions about all the stuff we found. So they created a total nonsense, trust the plan, absolute crap fucking thing. And they tried to drag everyone over to that, and it worked. They were able to use that Q bullshit in order to suck the oxygen out of the fire, right? It was a control fire. Because people are like, oh, well, it was pointing out true stuff. That's how disinformation psychological operations work. They tell you 80% truth and mix in 20% nonsense in order to destroy a movement. That's what Alex Jones is all about. Yeah, Mouthy Buddha. But Mouthy Buddha came along later. He was not one of the original people. And a lot of Mouthy Buddha's research came from Memory Hold. Memory Hold was one of the original people. Mouthy Buddha was a good dude, though. Like, he did good work. I'm not trying to discredit him at all. But he was not one of the original Pizzagate people. He came around like 2 years after that all broke. Such weird stuff. These Hollywood
brings
people
in the
are
demonic
so
and
strange.
satanic connection. Project Monarch is heavily tied with Satanism. This isn't about whether Satanism or the satanic panic is real, but the fact is, Satanism is a tool used to traumatize children and adults. Satanic imagery is used to traumatize the masses. The top leaders of the mind control program involving Satanism were Anton LaVey and Michael Aquino. Anton LaVey was merely the public agent for Satanism. Through smart publicity tactics, he was able to keep his image semi-clean, never being able to connect himself to pedophilia or child sacrifice, but he was involved with it all. Michael Aquino, a high-ranking military officer and member of LaVey's Satanic Church, was a master of black magic, mind control, and psychological operations. Anton LaVey's daughter, Zena, became pregnant at the age of 14 and described her family life as dysfunctional. She has alluded to the abuse which she endured at the hands of her father and called him evil. She severed ties with him and has dedicated her life to helping sexually abused children in Belgium. Lena Morgana was an up-and-coming Staten Island singer and performer who was known around town for her sexy voice and unique style. Before Stephanie Germanotta was Lady Gaga, she was a wealthy, spoiled rich girl from New York. She met Lena and they started collaborating on music. They were both scouted out by the same agent, Rob Fasari, and produced a song together. Lena Morgana fell to her death in 2008 at the age of 19 from a New York hotel. The same year, Lady Gaga produced her debut album, The Fame. Lena's mother has spoken out against Gaga for killing her and stealing her identity. Was this Lady Gaga's sellout moment? In 2013, Lady Gaga went on a bizarre mind program retreat with Marina Abramovich. Lady Gaga endured several exercises to test her resilience, such as screaming until her voice gave out, walking naked in the woods for hours with nothing but a blindfold, and lying on the ground with a block of ice. What we are witnessing is ritual trauma. Abramovich is a spirit cooker, which is the act of taking blood from the tongue or genitals, mixed with semen to attract certain demons. These rituals force the slaves to take oaths, sign blood contracts, and make blood covenants. These sacrifices can be a family member, friend, or their firstborn child. This is to reinforce the trauma, solidify the layering of demons in the programming, and the act of selling one's soul.
And I just think that the whole idea of celebrity and fame has become really convoluted and, kind of bastardized, like whereas fame used to be the byproduct of success, and now it's the ultimate goal. And if your ultimate goal is to be famous, then you're gonna do a lot to get there, like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil. Like you're gonna end up on a one-way street and it's going nowhere. Like that's just the truth.
There's a bunch of devil worshippers in Hollywood. And there's a lot of black folks too. And they be throwing up them signs, you see them, this, that, all of them. Watch the rappers, watch them folks. It's scary. It's very scary. That devil is real.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Used to came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
I get possessed by the spirits.
I mean, I can try, but then it just doesn't happen. I can sing notes and sing strong and do all these things that when I'm just by myself, I can't do. And I remember right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me.
I don't want to blame him. I asked him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
And, of course, Rihanna is in the building.
Hey, Angie.
Why is your hand over your eye?
Because I'm a devil worshiper. What are you talking about?
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my hand.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
What has it done to my career?
What has it done to your career?
In what way?
How has it impacted,
my
touring, record
album's
sales?
#1 all over the world. All over the world. America's the only one because I don't want to say too much.
But it's not #1 in the United States.
It's conspiracy, yeah. I don't want to say too much. I'm done.
So there you go. And moving on to Seth Rich, one of these old stories. But it's not old because the dude was murdered, so there's no statute of limitations on these things. Were the Clintons and Robert Mueller responsible for the assassination of Seth Rich? Declassified emails seem to solidify this conclusion.
Of DNC staffer Seth Rich, who was murdered last summer. A federal investigator telling Fox News that an FBI forensic report of Rich's computer showed he made contact with WikiLeaks through a former reporter and London-based WikiLeaks director, Gavin McFadden. The investigator told Fox News Rich provided McFadden with more than 44,000 emails, nearly 18,000 attachments. Rich was murdered near his D.C. home on the morning of July 10th. But his wallet, his cell phone, his watch not taken.
And the crazy part about this is I went down there with some people to investigate that area of D.C. back when this all happened. And we could see that there was cameras all over the place. There was all types of CCTV cameras on the road where he was murdered. Yet no one has ever seen any video of what happened to him, have they? He was murdered like right in front of a bank. The bank was covered with CCTV cameras. I can't remember which bank it was, but I think it might have been a Bank of America. You know, like, there was no botched robbery. It was a hit. Seth Rich was murdered in cold blood because he exposed the truth. Podesta even agreed in an email that he was for making an example out of the DNC leaker, and a former NSA employee proved the leak did come from inside the DNC. You can see in these emails, you know, who knows him better than Robert Mueller, and then you have all these other things. So here, we think Mueller arranged the hit on Seth Rich. Crooked Mueller says he would have done the same thing, hired a hitman. All this on there. Someone enlarged a still of Anne Hesh video, which I found really interesting. Do you guys remember that whole thing where they said she was dead and then you could see her trying to climb out of the body bag they had zipped up? What the hell happened to Anne Hesh? And what did she come across that led them to do such a crazy thing with her? I mean, it was nuts. You guys remember that? I certainly do. It was really, really, really weird. Someone saw this down in Florida on a car, which is kind of funny. I stay broke so pedo Jews can eat good. Do your part, Goyim. That's so funny. And, you know, John McAfee over here. Rest in peace, John, or enjoy your retirement somewhere. Who knows which. A lot of people think he just decided to disappear, had enough with this crap. In 2012, McAfee's house in Belize got raided. Shortly after that, he said this: "Within a week, the entire government computer system was under my control. I was looking for information that they had set me up for that raid. I didn't find that. I did find out about who's the biggest human trafficker and drug trafficker in the country, or the world, sorry, and they all happen to be part of the government." Okay. Now, I wouldn't be in the position I am in currently if it wasn't for John McAfee. I met him in 2008 at my college when I was graduating, actually. He came and gave the graduation speech at my college, Roanoke College, where he got a doctorate at that time. They gave him an honorary doctorate degree. And he was the, keynote speaker at that speech. And at the time, I was planning to go work for the State Department and I had been studying political movements and been studying like terrorist groups in the Middle East. And I was going to go work for the State Department doing political analysis. That was my degree, political science. And John gave a big speech and all this stuff about, don't just do what people are expecting you to do. Go take a risk and do something important with your life and stuff of that nature. And that kind of was one of the things that, changed the direction I was going to go on. And I decided to go work for my small family business at that time instead, to be in the private world and working for myself instead of going and working for, the State Department. And that has worked out extremely well. Let's just put it that way.
When I went on the run in Belize, I had friends in the U.S. Embassy in Belize. I knew what was coming down. I'm not stupid. I had arranged with the head of security. I was going to come in. He said, "Sir, we have it from the highest authority. We are not to allow you entry into the U.S. Embassy." Understand me. Who was the highest authority of the State Department? Hillary Clinton. I'm an American citizen with a American passport. I'm sorry. I'm not wanted in America. I've got no crimes in America. Is it not a reason to say, I don't think I'm going to vote for you?
And yet you're here now.
For a month and a half, I was on the run. The reason that the government wanted to collect me was that after they had raided my property in 2012 in the jungle, shot my dog, abused me, destroyed $500,000 worth of my property over a bogus charge, I was pissed off. And so I donated to many secretaries within the government laptop computers, really nice ones that were preloaded with viral spyware. Within a week, the entire government computer system was under my control. I was watching, monitoring, listening. I was looking for information that they had set me up for that raid. I didn't find that. I did find out that the Minister of National Defense was the largest drug trafficker in all of Central America. And the Minister of Immigration, the largest human trafficker.
Well, we don't want to get killed by them either, so we're probably not going to share that.
That's fine, that's fine.
So based. Anyways, you have here Habad Lubavitch Tunnel Network, New York City. Someone had posted this image, and it checks out, and it's really kind of interesting. It's in the show notes if you want to take a look at it. You have the Kabbalah thing here laid over various parts of New York City. And those parts of New York City pan out to where you have these Habad Lubavitch tunnels. Where, remember the Jews in the tunnels thing? Turns out this is a pretty good overlay. And one has to wonder if, in reality, there is some sort of tunnel system that connects all these places as depicted here. Right? Very interesting stuff. This is Washington, D.C. You can see there Washington Monument. So I wonder if in D.C. you have all these tunnels as depicted here. Habad Lubavitch style stuff going on. And you have the White House posting this. Welcome to the Golden Age. What Golden Age are they talking about? Like, what is this about at all? I wouldn't call us being at war with Iran the Golden Age, okay? I wouldn't call groceries costing $1 zillion the Golden Age, okay? None of what's been happening lately, the Epstein network, all still at large, that's not the Golden Age to me or anyone else I know. So what are they talking about? Is it Habad Lubavitch's Messianic Age, also known as the Golden Age, is a period of Jewish supremacy where non-Jews are subordinated to Jewish rule under Noahide laws. This era will be characterized by the rebuilding of the Third Temple in Jerusalem. They gonna blow up the Al-Aqsa Mosque thing? Potentially on the site of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which could trigger a global holy war. Christians will face severe persecution during this time. The Talmud states that those who refuse to convert or obey Noahide laws, such as worshiping idols, which includes belief in Jesus Christ, will be executed by decapitation. Habad rabbis have openly called for this law to be enforced globally. The Messiah figure, Moshiach, in Habad theology is not a person but a system of control, where Jews dominate all aspects of life. Christians who resist this new order will be considered enemies of humanity and subject to special punishment. The ultimate goal is a one-world government with Jerusalem as its capital, enforcing strict obedience to Jewish law upon all nations. Someone says the Third Temple will be a data center. That's possible. If you look at where all of the fiber optic cables from Africa, Europe, and Asia meet, it's all in Jerusalem. Which is the new pipelines of the world, are these fiber optic cable systems. And they're sending them all for that entire Eurasian supercontinent is all going through Jerusalem. Or Israel. Either one. Take your pick. White smoke in Tel Aviv. Which means the Israelis have picked a new CEO of OnlyFans. When you see white smoke in Tel Aviv, it's signaling a new CEO for OnlyFans. Which, don't be on that crap, people. Please do not give them any money. They're one of the largest supporters of the ADL. So all that money that you're giving to some stupid e-whore, a huge percentage of that goes to OnlyFans, the company, and then OnlyFans uses that money to silence people. Okay? And here we have AI and Mark of the Beast future, the AI cow. Let me explain what a 2 billion cow collar actually is. They put an AI collar on a cow. It tracks location, health, movement, behavior every second of the day. A farmer opens an app, draws a line on a map. That line becomes a fence. No physical fence, no wall, nothing visible. When the cow gets too close to the boundary, the collar vibrates. The cow turns around. Within 10 days, the animal doesn't even test the boundary anymore. It just stays inside. 700,000 animals are already wearing them. They call it a cowgorithm. They want you to laugh at it. Now read the technology again about the word cow. 24/7 GPS tracking on every individual. Real-time health and behavior monitoring. Invisible boundaries drawn from a phone. Movement controlled through vibration and sound. Subject learns compliance within days. 2 billion. And guess who led the investment? Peter Thiel, the same man who built Palantir. CIA-backed surveillance from day one. The same man who just got a $10 billion Pentagon contract to run artificial intelligence inside the military. His entire career is building systems that track and control. Now he's funding a collar that does exactly that. They're not investing in farming. The farming is the test. Most people have no idea of what's going on. See here, just in, AI cow collar startup Halter raises some crazy amount of valuation, uses proprietary cowgorithm to herd cattle. It's like $2 billion valuation. Right over the edge. And this is why I will never, ever give in to the self-driving car stuff. Like, unless I'm like 90 years old and I can't drive anymore, then I'll give into it. But not until then. Cybertruck nearly sends mom and infant off the bridge in Houston. The car was reportedly in self-driving mode. The woman is now suing Tesla for $1 million. How scary would that be? That's nuts. No thank you. Self-driving cars, absolutely not. Now, someone posted this, and they're saying it's the real reason for the Iran war. And a lot of it does make a lot of sense. So we delve into 4chan, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's favorite website. Iran is not an insolvent pariah state. Iran is the primary source of unhedged liquidity for the shadow banking system. London is the hub. Tehran is the offshore battery. IRGC Energy credits are not sold. They are swapped for Vostro credits in mid-tier Omani banks. These credits get bundled into collateralized synthetic obligations. They hit the London repo desks as high-quality collateral to back short-term loans. Without this 24/7 inflow of dark energy-backed paper, the City of London's leverage ratios collapse. The 2026 Iran war is based on two factions of the global elite fighting one another. Their fight has gone from boardrooms to kinetic events, which can also be seen via other seemingly unconnected accidents in the form of private transport crashes and security lapses for world leaders. Faction A, old money central bankers. They aim to keep the Iran loop open at all costs. They know the Western debt to GDP ratio is terminal. They use the shadow trade to suppress domestic inflation and keep the repo market from seizing. To them, a nuclear deal is just a legal patch to keep the detergent flowing. Faction B, Silicon Valley neo-feudalists. They aim for kinetic escalation and regime change. They want to force a global default and great reset to move everyone onto a fully CBDC-tracked ledger. They attack the Iran loop because it is an untracked and gives old money a way to survive without their tech. There is no blockade, it's a monopoly. The sanctions are not walls, they're tolls. They create a compliance tax that ensures only the 5 biggest banks can handle the volume. Seizing the central bank of Iran is about deleting the last off-grid gold reserves. If the Iran loop breaks, London will take a 30% liquidity haircut within 48 hours, which one may see via a shift in the gold to oil ratio. Escalation will probably involve cutting subsea cables. The system is cannibalizing its own infrastructure to stay alive. So there you go. There's one take on what the Iran war is all about. How it's going. Brent oil prices have risen to $106 per barrel, marking an increase of over 3.5%. The sign the negotiations are not going well. Source Intel. The Pentagon is drawing up the final blow options for Iran. So you can see here, $106 per barrel, marking an increase of over 3.5%. Pentagon's drawing up final blow options for Iran. Invading Karg Island. They want to put boots on the ground. Seizing Iraq. Taking Abu Masa. Blocking Iranian oil exports or ground operations inside Iran to secure highly enriched uranium. Iran's parliament speaker says they already know. I hear my 2-year-old just woke up. That's fun. An Iranian missile hit a street until hopefully mom comes and get her, or I might have to intervene. I hear my wife. She got her. An Iranian missile hit a street in central Tel Aviv today, leaving a big crater and injuring at least 6 people. So you can see Israel is getting hit during this war. This isn't just going one way. It's not just Iran getting hit. Israel's getting hit. Average people in Israel are dying. Not the elite, the bankers, or anything like that. And they've now started shutting down all types of religious sites in Israel. Israel has closed the Church of the Holy Sepulchre indefinitely for the first time in the history of Christianity. Israel has closed the Church of the Holy Sepulchre indefinitely for the first time in Christianity. Holy Week and Eastern services will be prohibited. Sunday masses and liturgies canceled. A church that should be packed with hundreds of thousands coming these upcoming days is shut. So you can see here they're shutting all this down. And it's not just one religious spot. It's all types of religious spots. Hold on one sec. I gotta go see what's going on. If mom actually went in there. 1 second, everybody. All right, sorry about that. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre is closed since February 28, 26, along with the Western Wall, Temple Mount Al-Aqsa, and other old city sites. Reason: security amid Iran-Israel missile exchanges. So it's not just the Holy Sepulchre, it's everything being shut down. C-RAM over Baghdad. Footage claiming to show a C-RAM taking down an Iranian drone near the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. Pretty crazy stuff. Shahid just got absolutely smoked. Here you have FPV Iranian drones. Rain-backed Iraqi militia Sarawa Alwiya Al-Dam released an FPV drone footage showing their drone flying through U.S. Embassy compound in Baghdad without activating any air defense systems. It's got to make embassy workers feel really safe. And the Victoria-based Baghdad had a radar and Black Hawk helicopter attacked by Iranian-backed militias using FPV drones. These are the drone wars. This is what we're now in. All these militaries have drones. They're extremely easy and cheap to produce, and they're very hard to take out, obviously. Goes down and takes him out. So this is not going to be like, oh, one-sided war, we're just wiping out Iran. No, these guys all have these drones, and the militaries don't exactly have the infrastructure to wipe these things out yet, because the U.S. military is a very, very large ship, and to get the procurement to start buying the technology to deal with this new threat takes a very long time to turn the ship in the right direction in order to get the military to deal with this new threat. And it's just, they're slow in procuring things that they need in order to protect themselves from the drone threat. And by the time they get the ship on the right course, a new threat will emerge. And it'll take them a while to change to that, because it's a lot of bureaucracies and slow procurement cycles. And in the meantime, good American soldiers are dying, and, we're losing all types of taxpayer money with these extremely expensive toys like Black Hawk helicopters and radar detection systems. Here you can see Iran released footage claiming to down a U.S. F-18 fighter jet. If this is true, this only happened twice before 1991 Gulf War and the 1995 Bosnia conflict. Here's the F-18. You can see it getting hit by air defenses. That hasn't happened since 1995. For those counting, that's over 30 years ago. Iran is now threatening to block the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, the Red Sea entrance, if attacks continue. This would be a massive escalation. It would choke off one of the world's most important shipping routes and send oil prices through the roof. You can see they've shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and now they're talking about trying to shut down the Bab al-Mandeb, which is going to block the Red Sea and shut down travel through the Suez Canal. It would shut down all the oil exports coming out of Saudi Arabia, obviously. Mojtaba Khomeini is reportedly alive and actively involved in decision-making in Iran. Direct contradicts early claims that he was badly injured after the strikes. And Iran has threatened nuclear bomb as the regime claims 1 million fighters ready for a U.S. ground invasion. So they're claiming they have 1 million fighters ready to defend the country of Iran, and they're also claiming that they're going to use nuclear weapons if the United States invades. I'm not saying they can shut down the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, but they're threatening to do so. That's what they're saying. And I'm also not saying that they have nuclear weapons, but they are claiming that they do and that they're going to use them if we invade on the ground. Iran is launching a ton of drones. New footage shows that dozens of Iranian drones are being fired towards Israel and Gulf countries, and they've been getting upgraded drones given to them by Russia and by probably China as well. This was always one of the worries about going to war with Iran, is they have a ton of these stupid things. A naval ammo depot in Surjan, southern Iran, blew sky high after a strike. Iran has been getting absolutely pounded in this conflict, you know. U.S.-Israeli strikes have been targeting infrastructure. Here you can see airstrikes pounding Bushehr in southern Iran right now. Multiple heavy explosions are rocking Tehran as well, with thick smoke rising near Neav, Iran. You hear the bombs going off. This IRGC base got smoked. big bombs, whatever they're dropping on that base. So IRGC getting absolutely annihilated there. Israel is also hitting Tyre. They warned first, allowed people to evacuate, and then the Israelis struck.
Shadaya. Shadaya.
Former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett to Europe. We're fighting radical Islam. Why aren't you thanking us? Yeah, why are we not thanking the Israelis, guys? Dragging us into a war that no one wanted. And you think you'd be thankful. Did you forget to say thank you?
Have stepped up to the plate, but many others, no, I'm not going to name names. I think you know exactly who. I think any European leader who sort of says, this isn't our problem, so when will it become your problem?
It's
when
not our problem.
They have a nuclear weapon, when the missile is on its way to Madrid, when it hits Madrid or Barcelona, is that when you're going to wake up? So we're doing the fighting. We didn't ask you for any help, nothing. All we're doing is fighting.
Yeah, you didn't ask America to help. We just happen to be doing all of the heavy lifting again. And another war for Israel. Right. Okay. Continue on.
Against this horrible radical Islamist menace, we're reducing and hopefully eliminating this threat. And instead of thanking us, you're criticizing us. I mean, what's the deal there?
Yeah, you guys should be thanking Israel for this war. I mean, come on, guys. And meanwhile, the average Israeli citizen is not doing that well. An Iranian missile just bypassed all Israeli defenses and unleashed dozens of bomblets directly over Tel Aviv.
They spread shrapnel all over the place. And yeah, if we look up in the sky to the east, what I can see now is a cluster bomb. You saw the big light, that was the interception, and now we've got dozens of bomblets coming down over Tel Aviv. I see one bright light that is cascading in this direction, a lot of lights separating off of it, and those are the bomblets. And the bomblets themselves are still quite dangerous because they're little explosives. They're not as powerful as a big 1,000-pound warhead like came in Dimona last night, but they're still very capable of hitting people. And one single light is now cascading. And we heard a big boom there. That's probably the interception. And I'm looking at one single light now cascading. I won't give specifics on the location, but over in the skies over Tel Aviv, headed to the ground, and we'll see what that results in.
A ballistic missile just hit Dimona, where Israel's nuclear facility is located. Rescue ops are ongoing as we speak. This isn't a random target. This could have either been a warning by Iran or a failed attempt to strike Israel's nukes.
קדימה, משימה חשובה, ביצוע סריקות.
Big bomb.
קדימה.
Dimona.
ביצוע סריקות מהירות בכל הנקודות לדווח.
I'm guessing this was an attempt to wipe out Israel's nuclear capabilities. Tehran's been getting hit hard. Big bombs going off everywhere. Here you can see a building in Beirut get absolutely annihilated, disintegrates in seconds. And here we have Hezbollah has used a FPV drone to successfully target an Israeli tank. So the drone wars continue. Kuwait airport got hit. Iran's drones hit Kuwait International Airport with big fire at the fuel tanks. This has become the norm in the Gulf. What a year. You can see the photo. Kuwait's airport being hit. And here is the most unhinged audio of a person you might ever hear. The shocking meltdown from Sarah Netanyahu over a newspaper column is unbelievable.
And while I don't need to show you this next clip, I do want to, because back in 2009, a newspaper gossip column published an item about Sarah attending a charity event, but didn't mention her professional credentials. It's a slight that she then discussed with one of her aides on a call that it turns out was recorded. And it is a lot. An iconic meltdown. If that happened today, we'd have been buried under 8 solid months of TikToks using the sound psychologist BAMA. That should be put on the diva Mount Rushmore of lashing out alongside Reese Witherspoon's You're About to Find Out Who I Am, Will Smith's Slap, and Christian Bale's Oh, Good for You.
Psychologist BAMA. What a crazy bitch. Ukraine. Russian drone hits downtown Lviv. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Ukraine war is still going on. And here's a drone hitting downtown Ukraine. That drone looks similar to what Iran is deploying. Weird. So Ukraine war is still happening. Many people are still being killed by drones over in that Russo-Ukraine conflict. And Ukraine struck a major hit against Russia. Long-range Ukrainian drone hit a Russian icebreaker far from the front line. So you can see here, based on images published today, a long-range Ukrainian drone appeared to have damaged the Russian icebreaker Perga, under construction in Vyborg. So way, way far away, an underwater drone was able to strike this icebreaker. This is an unbelievable feat of engineering, if you know anything about underwater drone warfare, and just insane ability to navigate. The Ukrainians are now way ahead of almost every country on Earth in terms of their ability to use these underwater drones over a very long distance to strike targets that are still in port. Very difficult thing to do, especially undetected, but it continues to happen. They struck a submarine that the Russians had that was in port, which it had to navigate through like a dock area and all those kinds of things. It's just incredible technology is now being deployed in these wars. And the worry I have with all of this is, where does this lead to? You know, I mean, how crazy are things going to get in 20 years from now with artificial intelligence being the ones controlling all these wonderful toys and them turning all of that on the rest of humanity? Here you have a Russian Ka-52 Helo got droned. This is war footage out of Ukraine claiming to show an FPV drone taking down a Russian Ka-52 Helo. See, there's the downed Helo on the ground. You see the drone coming in and taking out the thing. These drones, man, they're everywhere. Ukraine hit Russian oil facility. Ukraine attacked Russia's largest oil port in the Baltic Sea to prevent it from benefiting rising oil prices. About 60% of Russia's maritime oil exports pass through the port of Primorsk. There you go. The Ukraine war that Trump said he was going to end on day one of his presidency is still raging on, turns out. Now, that's it for the warfare part of the show. Let's get into the psyop actors. We got Ben Shapiro's eyebrows. We got Elijah Schaeffer, Andrew Tate, Laura Loomer. There's a bunch of completely fake psyop actors, LARPers, grifters, whatever you want to call them out there, that are the new mainstream media. They just so happen to be on the internet.
Tucker is smart. He knows exactly what he's doing. But like so many in the commentary business, the clicks and the giggles have contributed to a terminal case of brain rot. True, actual, undeniable brain rot.
You can see his eyebrows are at war with each other. Laura Loomer absolutely sucks. Loomer finally got the internet to unite in hatred for her and her tweets. She says, "Why should people be forced to listen to that for 10 hours? Doesn't make you a bad person to not want to listen to another person screaming kids. The entitlement is off the charts. Control your kids." She was all mad about children being on an airplane with her. This is a conservative that's supposed to be like promoting conservative values and stuff like that. And here was the problem. There's Laura, and here's the kid. I mean, what kid wouldn't scream with Laura Loomer on the same flight as it? Here she is on the plane. There's her selfie from the plane. The entitlement is off the charts. Here she is again. I mean, that's the real problem. Laura was on that flight. Now all the kids are scared. That's, you're not seeing the problem here, Laura. Every single day, the stupid gets stupider. There she is on the wing. Baby Tate, everybody, every single reply to this. Like, literally everyone. It's just ripping on Laura Loomer. Every one of them. It doesn't matter. The internet has finally come up with something that we can all unite around. We all hate Laura Loomer in this take. Is there anything worse than a crying baby on a plane? I wish parents would control their children. Yeah, Laura, I hate to break it to you, but children can't clear the pressure from their ears on a plane. That's why they're crying. They're in pain. You know that pressure that you get when you change altitudes and you hold your nose and blow out your ears and like relieve the pressure? An infant can't do that. Very young children cannot do that. There is absolutely nothing you can do to stop them from melting down on the plane. And trust me, the parents have it worse than anyone else, far worse than you, because they're the ones having to try to deal with this. You think they're not trying to stop it from screaming the whole flight? They're doing everything they can. They're giving it tablets to like watch something on the tablet. They're getting milk from the stewardess. They're doing everything they can to keep the kid quiet. But the kids just lose it because of the pressure problem. I mean, have some common sense, you dumb fucking brat. Elijah Schaeffer got questioned about his twinks. This was very, very funny. My wife divorced me and took my kids. I have no idea where they are. I'm sober. I'm sad. I have good support. Thank you for everyone supporting me during this rough season. I'll get through it. What? Israel lobby has no idea what's coming. On our way to CPAC 2026. Here he is with some twinks. Rocking the gayest mustache I've ever seen in my life.
I know. Just in case you forgot.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, dude, nice to see you.
Yeah, you have time for some questions?
No,
I wanted to ask you about the divorce and everything.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Why is that?
Brother. Because I don't.
Why? Do you feel bad for it at all? Elijah, do you feel bad for it at all? Any remorse at all?
He is running away.
Why are you running away?
Have a nice day.
No, I'm right here. Let's talk.
Have a nice day.
No, come back. Why I'm right here, dude. What are you walking away for?
Brown.
Yeah.
Not American.
Not American. Well, well, you're always going to be a cheater and a loser. Yeah, well, my wife's still with me, Elijah. You're not going to get anybody's wife. You're a loser. You're probably closeted. So, Elijah, what's the plan? Are you going to stay in Frisco?
Probably closeted. Look at that gate. That is the gate of a gay man.
Are you going to move back to Florida or what?
He's in San Francisco, too. I mean, the script doesn't write itself any better than this.
I'm not Elijah's type. I'm not skinny and... You seen your boss? Yeah, you don't think he does? No, I don't need to wear a suit. Your suit doesn't even fit you, bro. You're not even look. It's not even fit now. It's not fitting. You're all baggy and shit.
He got his dad's suit on. That's so classic.
So, which twink are you for Elijah? Do you have to keep your door boarded? Do you live with him now? Or do you have to keep your door boarded up at night so he doesn't like hit you?
Number one, bro.
Twink number one. What's your?
He's twink number one confirmed. Doesn't even try to deny it. He's Elijah's number one twink. He just straight up admits to it. Confirmed.
Bit, where do you come from? Yeah, what's your bit? You look a lot like this guy named Josiah. He's got like a type, doesn't he?
Stop it. Stop. Just stop it, okay? Cut it out. Stop.
Just stop it, guys. Stop being... It's Frisco, Texas? Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't know there was a Frisco, Texas. When he said Frisco, I thought he meant San Francisco, because we're looking at the gayest man of all time, Elijah Schaeffer, the most closeted conservative ever. Andrew Tate is not real. Andrew Tate once again forgets that he's supposed to be pretending to be a Muslim as he brags about the gambling he's doing in Hong Kong.
Then double down, then split, then get blackjack. Matinese patica. I'm walking around with these Hong Kong dollars like a fucking dipshit. I need Matinese patica. There's a different currency in the town. Write it down, Luke. Write it down. Hit the blackjack table. Turn these Hong Kong dollars into Matinese paticas.
Gambling is so dumb.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to double down on 20, get an ace, 21. He doesn't know about gambling. It's a gambling thing. You don't know anything about gambling. Remember I told you
I know about gambling. If you gamble money, you lose. The house always wins. The more you gamble, the more you lose. I think it's the dumbest thing on earth, gambling money. I don't know why anyone would do it. Especially sports gambling. It's all stupid. Here's an idea. If you have money to waste on gambling, go put it into a interest earning account or something. Go invest it in some cryptocurrency. Go invest it in the stock market. Do anything with it. Put it under your mattress. Do anything with it, but friggin' gamble with it.
We're about to learn.
What an asshole. I hate these types of people. Breaking, Hertfordshire Constabulary has reopened a criminal investigation into Andrew Tate regarding allegations of rape and other offenses made by 3 women in the United Kingdom. So there you go. He's in big trouble back in the UK. Breaking, the criminal investigation into violent alleged rape and sexual assaults by Andrew Tate has been reopened.
Out of the blue, he literally just stopped what he was doing and just laid back. He said, I'm just contemplating whether I should rape you or not. And I promise you, within an instant, he changed. He just jumped straight on top of me, grabbed my throat, started suffocating me, strangling me. The more I didn't want to, it made him so much more aggressive, to the point where he was pinning me down, hurting me. The things he was saying to me, he was like, who do you belong to? Who do you belong to? And the more I couldn't say it, the more he'd hurt me. So I couldn't see an escape. And at that point, I just gave up. I just gave up.
He used to strangle us as well. There was another time when he came into the bedroom, me and the other girl, we would sleep in the same bed with Andrew, but at this time the girl had a partner, so she was not interested in Andrew at all. And I had gone to the shower, I came back and I noticed he was, like, I saw him raping her. And when he threatened to beat me up in the bathroom, and he said, oh, I don't give a fuck if you call the police, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. That's kind of when I knew, you know, I had to get out of there. I stopped working for Andrew about March, April time, and I went to the police shortly after that. Nothing was done, really. The other girl that he had raped, she went to the police, and then that's when they arrested him and took him into custody for like 2 days.
Yeah, so there you go. Andrew Tate is a total piece of crap. Not that you didn't already think that. It's just now confirmed. Former CIA officer John Kirko drops bombshell. So here we're getting into other conspiracies that we're all right about. So pat yourself on the back if you're watching this show. You were definitely right about all of these conspiracies as well. Former CIA officer John Kirko drops the bombshell. There are 10,000 documents about JFK's assassination that are never going to be released by Trump because every single one of them points directly at Israel, turns out. Who would have guessed?
So I have a friend who is close to the president, and I said to him at the time that the documents were released, about a year ago, I said, thank God that the president finally released the remaining documents. And he said, no, he didn't. I said, yeah, he did. He was compelled by law. Congress passed a law twice compelling the president to release all documents related to the Kennedy assassination. He said, there are 10,000 documents that are never going to be released. And I said, why? And he said, because every single one of them points directly at Israel. And I said, oh man, that's not one that I was thinking of. He says that the Israelis were so angry that A, John Kennedy wouldn't give them nuclear technology, but more importantly, B, he was actively trying to disrupt the Israelis from acquiring nuclear technology, and they decided they had to take him out.
Well, there you go, folks. We've all said it, but now you've heard it from John Kirko, so it's more credible. CIA was rumored to have experimented with mind control methods. Programmed to kill, just like we've been saying. And the truth about that, a psychiatrist who read all 15,000 pages of the declassified MKUltra documents at a secure CIA facility in Northern Virginia exposes connections between top-secret cleared CIA psychiatrists and the assassinations of JFK, RFK, John Lemon, the Manson murders, and more. This would all tie into what we've seen with the Program to Kill series, which is on the Deliberate Strangers YouTube channel. And it's good to see that he's back on YouTube.
Why would the government program American citizens to murder other American citizens?
Well, that's the question. So
you have documented projects called MKUltra and other kind of variations of mind control, creating splits and multiple personalities, couriers and spies, Manchurian candidates, assassinate world leaders.
They use whoever they could get their hands on, hypnotizing them, brain electrode implants, electric shock, creating the super spy.
This stuff is shocking.
The U.S. Army released a list of 120-ish different drugs that had been used for mind control testing. 1,500 people times 120 different drugs. It's a lot of people, right?
It's a lot of people.
When you get into the documents, you find out this guy is connected to this guy is connected to that guy. It's this whole network.
Lee Harvey Oswald, who's the supposed lone gunman, probably wasn't the lone gunman when it comes to assassinating JFK. Jack Ruby killed Lee Harvey Oswald, so he probably was an MKUltra patient before having shot Lee Harvey Oswald. Who doesn't remember shooting somebody? Sirhan, to this day, says that he has no recollection of having shot RFK.
Well, what do you remember about the shooting, if you're willing to talk about that?
I was there. But I don't remember the exact moment. I don't remember pulling my gun.
And then you have a guy like McAfee, who's an MKUltra patient. Manson, who's an MKUltra patient. These people are committing horrific acts.
You think that my mind is like your mind, but it isn't.
This is really creepy. I wonder if the same thing happened with Epstein.
The thing is, it's not just some crazy conspiracy theory. It's actually possible.
Can I give you my crazy Epstein MKUltra theory?
Oh, you'll be in trouble if you don't.
Okay.
There you have it, folks. Another conspiracy you were all right about. And look, here's another one that we were all right about. CIA accused of poisoning the sky with toxins as files expose secret weather control agenda. Once again, the files come out. Turns out they've been poisoning us in the skies with chemtrails. That's no longer a conspiracy theory, now it's just another fact. Declassified CIA files reveal a secret program that a former US president was certain would help him control the world by poisoning us all through chemtrails. So there you go. Another conspiracy that we all were like saying forever, being like, look at those damn planes, that's not right. And now it turns out we were right again. Pat yourself on the back. Chemtrails confirmed. Conspiracy theorists, after every single one of their theories is proven right this year. And Michigan orthodontist gets 6 years for child exploitation crimes after ICE probe. So ICE is arresting people like this, okay? U.S. citizen Thomas Shannon, 44, sentenced for exploiting numerous 12 to 17-year-old children online between 2019 and 2024. This is the type of people that ICE is going out there and arresting, okay? Yet the Democrats and the politicians have shut down Department of Homeland Security to stop ICE from doing this great work. Why? Nobody knows, but that's what they've been doing. There's no funding of DHS because they're mad that ICE is out there arresting these scumbags. And then meanwhile, they've shut down TSA because TSA isn't getting paid while they're not funding all of this as part of the DHS shutdown. And now, across the country, you're having scenes like this. This is at JFK International Airport. It's all caused by DHS being shut down. Okay? And then here you have Houston Airport. In case you thought it wasn't enough, here's a video from Houston Airport showing the line snaking around the whole airport.
Your flight is now ready for boarding.
No TSA agents. You can't get cleared to fly in the plane. Now, I guess the obvious answer to this is screw having security. If you want to fly, just fly. Can we just do that? Can we just go, well, we don't have any TSA agents, so I guess that's the end of us all getting groped to fly in an airplane. If you want to fly, you fly. If someone wants to bring whatever on the plane, oh well. Like, I don't know what we're doing anymore. Like, if we can't, I'm not going to put up with those types of lines, so just freaking let everyone on the plane. You know? I mean, who cares, right? If that's what we have, if that's the alternative is we have to have huge lines to get through security because TSA isn't being paid, then fuck it. Just let everyone on the plane. Don't check anyone. And, you know, you don't check everyone who goes on the subway car when you get on like a underground railroad type thing, you know? So screw it. Who cares? Let's go back to the good old days where you could smoke on the plane. It should be a private security model. Screw that. It should be a no security model. None. Just let us on the plane. Stop fucking with everyone as they try to get on the plane. Just let them walk on. And if someone brings a bomb on board, oh well, I guess it was your time. I'd rather live in that world than have to deal with the, oh, take your shoes off. Oh, do you have a belt on? Take that off. Is there a laptop inside your bag? You know, and I have to pay all the stupid money to get the TSA pre-check thing and global, what is it, the global security thing so I can get through customs faster. Forget it. Just get rid of it all. Have no security at the airport, and just let people fly if they want to fly. I can't. The government needs to be stripped of as much of this as possible. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's just take it all away. They're done. Okay? They can't fund themselves. They're fucking it all up. So just take it all away from them. No more security at airports. If you're not flying on like those crappy airlines, like what is it, Spirit Airlines and what's the other hellhole one, Southwest, which I refuse to fly in those anyways. If you're not flying on those, you're really not at risk at all anyways. And think of how much more fun the videos would be that would come out on the internet from like Spirit and Southwest Airlines if there was no security. Just letting people get on the planes with whatever they want. I mean, this could lead to some pretty entertaining videos and things. But anyways, that's the show. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments and stuff like that down below. And, you know, obviously I'll be back soon. I'm going to try to do a Meme Wars sometime early next week, because those are lots of fun, to come up with lots of fun meme videos. And remember to like and subscribe and share and all that kind of fun stuff. I think I'm also, I know I said this last live show, but I'm going to try to edit this out and post this as like segments and maybe do some shorts out of the content tonight so that we can get more engagement on YouTube. But definitely like, share, and subscribe.
What's up, y'all? I'm the last man on Earth. Shit's all fucked up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.
Someone in the chat, very funny comments in the chat, obviously. Did blow in the bathroom in the late 90s in a suit, miss flying in that day? Hell yeah, brother. Those were the good old days. All right. Good night, everybody. Have fun. Enjoy. I'll see you guys when I come back. All right. Peace. piece. Well, actually, let's end with a little outro on the way out of here. Let me pull up some like get out of here type music as we descend and leave, and then we will call it a night after the musical outro. What are we gonna play? So we'll go with the standard outro song here.
Trying to prepare those that stand in the front lines of our coming trials. We stand upon the edge of a precipice, the fall from which we will not return.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Decades ago, a group of people gathered together to uphold a theory which they believed could control the universe. That the world functioned in equal parts, order and disorder. They abused their power, casting the Greek world into eternal war. One you were created to stop. In destroying the cult, you have done what I could not. You are a hero, but this imbalance comes with a price, my child. For without chaos, there is supreme order, a loss of progression and freedom. But there is still hope. Hope in you. Hope in the future you will bring.
Who is to perform following the function of what? And what I am is a man in a mask.
I can see that.
Of course you can. I'm not questioning your powers of observation. I'm merely remarking upon the paradox of asking a masked man who he is.
When I sacrifice my youth to defend what's ours.
When I say no to a law we never voted for.
When I stop feeding an empire a world away. When I surrender my body, not my mind. When I ask God to look the other way.
I refuse to learn the history of a country I'll never see.
When I decide, it will be them, not us.
Men dream. But dreams hold no value here. What was first the bright light of hope? Is turned into a long night of captivity. lost in the dark. We surrender our minds and forget who we are. But some of us have woken up. They remind us that we all have a choice. To stand, not kneel. To oppose, not obey. To live, not just exist.
You think is evil. Huh? Don't you think that's a little weird, a little psycho?
You know what I think is psycho, Rob? It's decent men with loving families. They go home every day after work. And they turn on the news, you know what they see? They see rapists and murderers and child molesters. They're all getting out of prison.
Mafiosos. Getting caught with 20 kilos. Getting out on bail. Same fucking day.
And everywhere, everyone thinks the same thing. That someone should just go kill those motherfuckers.